Oh my goodness, everyone. What is happening? We're back. It's 2023. We're going to talk all about our holidays. I'm going to talk about the fact that I live in a different place. And we're going to throw a little Bad Batch talk in there. And what's next week? The Youtinees? Well, we got to talk about that. But most importantly, so glad you're here. So glad to be back with my friends. And all I have to say is, Wes, punch it! Welcome to 2023 and the Living Force, the UT Network podcast, all about friends just getting back in the swing of things. I am one of your hosts, Eric Eilerson, and joining me once again to kick off the new year is not the full cast of characters, but a couple of my great buddies, including my new neighbor-ish, Dr. Charles Henkel. Hey, man.
I'm concerned because that champagne bottle was full when we rolled the intro, and then you dusted it by the end. So, what's going on, everybody? That's true. Eric and I are neighbors now. We've wasted no time. We've already seen each other in person again. So, Wes, you got some catching up to do, buddy. You got a flight to schedule there. Don't use Southwest, is what I'm hearing. But no, everything's good. It's 2023, but same old Living Force, right?
That's right. The same vibe, a different year. And remember, everyone, when you're writing the date from now on, there's a 3 at the end, but it's really easy to make a 2 into a 3. We're very lucky. As opposed to last year, trying to make a 1 into a 2. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. But also, as Charles said, we're joined by the man who needs to get to Charlotte ASAP just because I miss hugging him. Because he's glorious. He is light. He is wonder, he is grace, he is Mr. United States West Jenkins!
What's up, everybody? I guess I am all alone down here in the South, which is fine. But I saw a picture of Charlotte Hornets game. Is that where you were at? Eric and Charles at the Charlotte Hornets game together. Whenever y'all play the Houston Rockets, take it easy on us because we're terrible. But
we're so good. That's the problem.
But it's good to be here because Charles and I held the show down last week. We did a phenomenal job. Dead or Nah is a good one. Hopefully we bring it back. Make sure it's like some kind of recurring show. We can do it literally with anything.
There's less pressure tonight. There's about as much pressure as was behind that cork in the champagne bottle tonight compared to last week.
Yeah, I do gotta say though, shout out to you guys. You guys did hold the fort down. I had the show on as I was getting my office together because for those that may be on audio only, there's a completely new backdrop for me for the first time since we ever started this entire show. Because I did move. I live in the South now. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina-ish. Bought a house, painted this wall behind me, put these things up. These are going to change all the time.
Oh, that's new paint.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was a creamy white color. And the first thing I'm going to paint it, I picked this color out, went to the Home Depot.
You're an adult.
I want
Nice
this
blue.
color. Yeah. I have an office now. Yeah. It's a different blue than our bedroom, which is a darker blue because you got to sleep. A lot of decisions when you buy a house. But I will say, as I was unpacking this very office last week, I did watch you guys. Such a good job. Also, I had forgotten that so many projects had been announced. And but I will say, for those of you that did tune in last week, Charles and Wes were very optimistic. You guys were like, yeah, we think most of them are still going to happen. And I liked that. You guys made me feel hopeful.
Yeah. So I think as we came down towards the end, we kind of hit our stride a little bit. And then we kind of started throwing out some skepticism, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. So I think Dead or Not should come back again.
Yeah, we'll definitely have it. Dead or Not. With the amount of products that get announced, we will probably be able to do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But for all of you that did or didn't listen to last week, you're here now. You're here in 2023. Maybe your resolution was to listen to The Living Force. What a great time. You're doing great. 1 for 1 so far. If you're new, go ahead and make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a review on your podcast catcher, all that good stuff. And a couple announcements here before we get into some chat about what's coming up in Star Wars this year. First of all, the 2022 Youtinees voting is closed officially. It ended at the end of December, and I have been tallying the votes. I did want to give a couple teases before we get into talking about the Youtinees later on. I wanted to thank the over 600 people who voted in the Youtini Awards this past year. It was a variety of votes, which we'll talk about a bit later. But yeah, just thank you guys. This is going to be amazing, and it is going to be next Monday night, January 9th, here, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Living Force on the Youtini YouTube channel. If you only listen to audio, that's great. We do say if you're going to watch one show a year, the Youtinees is the one to do it. We have a bunch of people on our team that make incredible graphics and do way more work than we do to make it look awesome. So very excited for next week. I also want to give a quick personal thank you. We got a DM this past week on Twitter from a user whose name I have in our outline, but I'll keep it anonymous just in case they don't want to be shouted out. But it was a very long message just about how much they enjoy the show and how they found us recently. And actually remembered some of Charles's live streams back in 2017, which took me back. So Charles...
Allegedly. I used to do
they probably don't exist. They're probably fake. But it was a lovely message. And I just want to say to anyone that does any message you send or any love you give the show, we see it, and it really does make our week, our year at this point, 2023. So thank you so much for the kind words. But fellas, I got to say, I miss you all so deeply. You all got to see each other last week to kind of do a little holiday debrief. But before we go into more Star Wars stuff, I want to just kind of hear how you guys' holidays was. How was your last couple weeks? Just kind of what's new? Obviously, I've had some life changes I'll talk about, but I want to hear to you guys. I miss you. I feel like I haven't seen, well, mostly Wes, in quite a bit. How was your New Year's? How's it been?
I want to say New Year's was fantastic. I went out to the country with my girlfriend Bethany, and we went to Groesbeck, Texas. If you don't know where Groesbeck, Texas...
Listeners, I need you to know this. I found out who Bethany was 5 minutes before we went live today. One of my best friends in the universe, and I find out here. Anyway,
Charles said that you can only find out when you're live on the podcast or when we're.
I also told him he has to tell the co-host in order of who his best friends are. So I found out first.
Wow.
Now Eric, and Corey still has no idea.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, if you're not first, you're last.
So don't say anything to him. We'll see if you actually watch the show, and then
everyone, it's a test next week. The Youtinees start. Corey, before we begin, who is Wes's girlfriend?
So we did that. I went to Groesbeck, Texas. If you don't know where that is, you don't know where Garwood, Texas is. And if you don't know where that is, you probably might know where Matagorda, Texas is. Those are the places that I go to. And
Matagorda is definitely a species in Star Wars. It's absolutely a cantina alien.
Yeah, I'll give you that. We had a big giant bonfire that we had thrown big chunks of logs in, and we had a tractor that was just pushing it all up and making it a big tower. And we couldn't really get it to light, so we went back to the campfire that was about 4 logs high, and we did all that work during the day just to go back and do a small fire with a bunch of friends and family. So it was a good time.
Wow. That was a good time. You almost did kind of like a Wicker Man thing. I feel like if that something burns that's that big, there's someone getting sacrificed at some point. So I think you actually made it out in a good way.
It's currently still burning, by the way. It's still smoking. So the poor guy that owns the land's going to have to go out there and keep turning it over with the tractor until it actually goes out.
Wow. Charles, you did something similar, right?
Yeah, pretty similar. I went to like a like black tie masquerade ball kind of event for New Year's Eve. So that was a lot of fun. Nicole and I went with a group of some of our friends. It was my first ever masquerade ball. And
you look great. I asked Charles for a video drunkenly around midnight, and he sent me one. It didn't you looked beautiful. You wear the simple black mask. It's really nice, really classy.
Yeah, it was. I thought about, could I get away with like wearing a Vader mask or something like that, like the Chewbacca mask with the moving mouth.
Oh my god,
wasn't gonna happen.
You should have done the giant plague doctor with like the beak.
Oh,
that, be like, what's up?
That mask terrifies me. It's terrifying.
But yeah, no, so we did that. I don't think I got to bed until like 4 a.m. That's the latest I've been up in ages. And I lost my voice. Like until today, I had little to no voice. Like I wasn't
Oh.
sure that I was going to be able to come and do this show. And I
Mhm.
still am missing like some of my registers here, but I made it and I'm glad I'm here. And I'm glad that I made it to that masquerade ball. I want to do another one.
I can't wait to absolutely invite myself to the next one you go to. It looked like a ton of fun. I got to have a pseudo Youtini reunion on New Year's Eve. Our good friend Timothy Guthrie and his lovely wife Hannah came and visited us here. And we went out to this place in Charlotte called the Puttery, which it's like an adults only full bar mini golf course inside. So
that's
we
super
got
cool.
in and we just played 9 holes, had a blast. I think got right around par-ish, which is fine.
Did Tim bring his own putter?
He did not. But I don't believe he
Okay.
doesn't have one. I will say, shout out to the Puttery. They're like, "Are you left-handed or right-handed?" And I got a left-handed putter because lefties are the best, and we will someday rule the world. Didn't help me a bunch though. I believe Hannah, Timothy's amazing wife, did get the best score, but had a blast. Rung in the new year the way everyone should by watching Ohio State lose. Which was on the TV, and that poor child, literally the child, missing a field goal that will absolutely psychologically wreck him for the rest of his entire life.
If you didn't catch that game, I mean, it was one of the best games I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've watched 4 or 5 football games, and
Ish.
it was a so-so, like what, 10-3, 13-3, something like that at halftime. And you're like, what's going on here? And then it was just back and forth, touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. It was fantastic.
Dude,
Glorious.
I raised you that Tulane SoCal game today. I don't know if any of you watched.
I had it on in the background. I didn't actually watch it.
If not, go check it out.
Yeah. There's a lot of great games happening right now, and I think it's really cool because you see like these kids, and Charles and I, we had this moment when we were at the Charlotte Hornets game of realizing that, oh God, we're older than 95% of the people on the floor. You hit that point in college. I feel like that way, especially because I'm a decade older at least than these kids, and they're all just basically doing job applications in the bowl games because they're like, draft me. And they're trying to they're doing the best things they could possibly do. They're going to the maximum of their potential. And then you get that kid that just, every once in a while, you miss a kick. It was a great time. It was really funny because we were at we had a table and we were having some desserts and some drinks, and we're like, it's 11:56 or so, and the game is on. And I'm like, here's the thing. You need to show the ball drop because it's New Year's Eve, but also if you switch off of this game, people will kill you. And it was luckily the game ended at the stroke of midnight. And then the second the field goal got missed, they flipped it over and people were like, Happy New Year. So it all worked out.
Yeah.
It was a miracle of sorts. I will say though, before we get off this train here, having now been a citizen of North Carolina for 2 weeks, it's lovely. All of you in the south of the Mason-Dixon, everyone has been nice. 100% of the people I've met have been so kind. It's warm. It was about 45 degrees warmer than it was in Chicago the week after we got here.
God.
So that was great. And yeah, very happy to be in the south where me and Charlie are putting the house together. With the animals and everything. So everyone that's sent well wishes and things like that, it's so appreciated. And I'm very excited to continue to live around here and do other activities in the great city of Charlotte, the Queen City, as it's known. That's it. It's been great. I do want to say, speaking of sports, guys, we all like sports. However, none of us are as good at sports as our very own Emma Park, who, barring a 50 field goal miracle, I think tonight, is officially the champion of the Youtini Fantasy Football League 2023. Emma, congratulations. Well done. Really an incredible season from Emma, who had a fascinating draft strategy. But I'm looking at her lineup right now, off the back of Patrick Mahomes, but most importantly this week, off the back of Mike Evans, who
Really?
Oh yeah, with his 3 touchdowns, did a lot. But she looks like she will defeat our very own Andrew Bell in the championship. Well done, Emma. You were crushing all year. And yeah, I hope that the Patriots don't make the playoffs because of this. So, sorry. But also, Wes, I do want to give you congratulations, my friend, because it looks like you are going to win your, third place matchup against our very own Jacob. So, also very well done. Very good season for you, man.
Yeah, it was kind of rough in the beginning, but then Jalen Hurts kind of caught on for me. He was my savior the entire season. And then right when the semifinals begin, Jalen Hurts takes the game off. But I'm not going to completely contribute my loss to Andrew Bell based on Jalen Hurts not playing. I had some poor decisions on some other lineup roster spots. So I did have Gardner. I had Daniel Jones,
my dude.
Daniel Jones went off this week. So I was like, all right.
Danny Dimes. Yeah.
So,
I love fantasy football more than most things in life, and I'm just not good at it in our league. And I will strive next year to be better in every way, but mostly in fantasy football. Now, I do want to give a quick New Year's thank you to a couple folks over on our Patreon. We did get a new patron this week. Josiah Clark joined us last week for the year 2023. Joined up the Youtini Patreon. Thank you so much. And our very own Chris Carrizo, who is in the chat right now, joined our Alliance High Command. Thank you. That is such an intense, wonderful amount of dedication to what we do here. It makes us feel like we're doing a good thing and people enjoy it. So thank you all so much. We are actually about to have a bunch of meetings, the fun stuff, on an organizational level at Youtini. Because as we say, us at Youtini, we actually are about almost 40 people strong. And our leadership group is going to have a meeting this week to kind of get the year looked at and see what's coming your way. So all the stuff over on Patreon and all the support we get from you guys makes it all possible. So thank you so much. And as always, if there's things you want to see on Patreon, make sure you contact Timothy Guthrie, my New Year's Eve partner, and also our Patreon manager and community manager. And he will help you out and tell us what to do, basically, to make you happy. That's all I want. But you know what can make you happy way before then? Is tomorrow's release, guys. It's 2023 and it's already Star Wars release time. January 3rd, The Battle of Jeddah, the High Republic audio drama by George Mann, is coming out tomorrow. As always, we're going to have a written review on Youtini.com and a video review over on this very YouTube channel. Tell you what we thought of it. And I know you already have that pre-order in. You have your Audible credit ready to go. But just in case you don't, go to Youtini.com/Audible. I believe is still the link. Sign up there, get a free credit, and get the Battle of Jeddah, because you know you want an audio drama in the High Republic. The script book of this, of course, for those that may not like audio or be unable to experience audio stuff, comes out on February 14th. So a good little Valentine's Day present to yourself or someone you love is the Battle of Jeddah script book. Fellas, we're in the night before. Now look at this glorious cover of Creighton's son and Ada Fort. That's because I listened to it. I remember who they are. Charles, Wes, how you guys feeling about the Battle of Jeddah hype? I know we're huge George Mann fans on the show, if nothing else.
I am a big fan of these of the audio dramas, not just the audio books of novels that come out. So they really do a good job with these to make you feel immersed with the story, not just a book that you've read before, but they also have all kinds of action scenes and sound effects. It just really gets you in the moment. And if you have that long commute or you have a hell of a lot of dishes to clean, these audio dramas are perfect for that.
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's exactly it. Why am I excited for this? Number one, George Mann. Number two, payoff for reading the rest of this entire initiative. Number three, I now have a 20 to 30 minute commute for the first time since we've ever had this podcast. So I'm going to knock this thing out.
Absolutely. I will say for folks watching tonight or listening later on, the Battle of Jeddah, I believe, comes in at around 4.5, 5 hours. Again, I know some of y'all are doing 1.5 times, 3 times speed. I know who you are. But it's coming out. And I will say, as without any spoilers, of course, this is the most integrated audio drama we've probably seen so far between Dooku Jedi Lost, Dr. Aphra, and Tempest Runner, and now Battle of Jeddah. If you have not read Path of Deceit and Convergence especially, you won't be lost necessarily, but there is definitely things that you're going to miss out on if you're not kind of part of those. So make sure that you can kind of catch up on those before you check out Battle of Jeddah would be my recommendation. Or you know what? It's your life. It's your money. Do what you want. Go get it. Don't listen to me. But again, if you want to check out our spoiler-free review coming out tomorrow, always fun to talk about all these things. And thank you to our friends at Penguin Random House Audio for sending that our way a little early so we can tell you guys all about it. Now, we know Star Wars content. We know they like to release stuff very slowly and very evenly. No, that's a lie. We're getting two things the first week of 2023, everyone. Because, guys, guess what comes out on Wednesday? It's the freaking Bad Batch Season 2. Let's chat about that a bit, because maybe it's because I moved. This completely took me by surprise. I completely forgot this was happening.
Same. I was watching the trailer right before we went live again, and I was thinking, who is Crosshair? Crosshair. He never he never came around to joining the Bad Batch kin, right? He's still Mr.
evil,
Bad guy, right?
Yeah, no. That was his new name, his Mr. Bad Guy.
Mr.
They called him at the end of the season. I am Mr. Bad Guy now.
Now it's a children's show. Now we can say it's a children's show. So yeah, I'm interested to see that, because it's slowly coming back to me on what had happened. I might need to start. Is there a recap of the season, or do you have to watch? I mean, it's not terrible to watch all 12 episodes.
Oh, there's a few. How many episodes are in this? You know what? Here's the thing: if we were the old Youtini and had more time and did a bounty hunt and we were smarter about our content, we probably would have done a full recap show. But as you can see in my other monitor, if you're watching here, because I have a reflection on my wall, let's take a look at season 1 here. We did have 16 episodes.
Careful.
Okay, 16.
We had 16 episodes that, of course, ended with one of the most kind of haunting moments, I think, of Star Wars animation, which was the fall of Kamino.
Oh,
that's right.
yes.
That was the end of season 1. Back on August 13th of 2021. So it's been over a year and some change. Which would be normal, right? But we've also gotten Book of Boba Fett, Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, like all of this since then. That makes it feel like a longer time, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, the show for me, it's not my favorite of the animated shows, but I genuinely think that seeing Kamino get destroyed was like the most intense emotional reaction I've had to animated Star Wars content. Maybe I'll say one exception might be the Clone Wars, like the actual ending of the Clone Wars TV series with Ahsoka and all that. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it's up there. And I don't think there's ever been an animated show that didn't improve pretty drastically season to season. So
yeah, good point.
I mean, I'm pretty excited to see that, because if that was season 1, I mean, think about season 1 of the Clone Wars. Obviously, years and years and years of experience for all the artists and everyone involved with that show, from Filoni on down, made huge improvements. But like, if that is the floor of this show, then we've got a lot to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As Wes is bringing up here on the screen with the trailer, I think if nothing else, just the animation and the visuals that they've shown so far are so good. We got a little bit of costume change, and also it's so bright, everything we've seen. Yeah. I think they've done a really good job with the animation of putting everything in light. Like, I feel like that was a trick of like a lot of earlier animation stuff. Like, oh, it's in the dark, so we can kind of hide some of the textures and things like that. But Bad Batch is always really in the light. I think if you listen to our bounty hunts back in the day, one of the things we kind of didn't love as much about Bad Batch was that it got kind of job of the week sometimes. Like, some episodes were like, here's your contract for, I forget her name, Rhea Perlman's character.
Sid.
Sid. Yeah, Sid.
How could you forget Matilda's mom's character?
I got Rhea Perlman, at least. Yeah, like, and Sid did some contracts, and it does look like Sid's going to be back. So there might be some of that. But I think it's really going to be nice just to kind of hang with this squad for a bit, especially after something that was as completely different as Andor, which I think was an elite show. We all loved it. And I think a lot of folks on Star Wars Twitter and elsewhere really loved it. So getting back to, I guess, this more quote-unquote classic show will be fun. I'm excited to kind of see what happens with it.
Me too.
Because there's also going to,
I'm thinking like
a 2-part premiere too.
Are they going to build up off this to where there is a season 3? Is there? We haven't heard anything about a season 3. I don't think. So
I don't think so.
is there going to be stakes that are high enough to where they can carry the show into a 3rd season? I am not sure. But I mean, you never know. I mean, we see Rex in the trailer. He says, "Hey, I need you guys for a job." And they're like, "Well, hell yeah, I want to do that." And then you see the Senate.
Rex, of course.
You see the Senate in here again. So they've been bringing the Senate in like pretty heavily after like episode 3 time frame. So that's super cool to see.
Yeah. And they've already released really all of the episode names and the full schedule. So it ends with a 2-part finale called The Summit and Plan 99. So Clone Force 99, like that's always a thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely possible that they try to go 3. I think the animated shows usually like 3 or 4 seasons at least. Like Rebels was 4, Clone Wars was 7, Resistance was only 2, I think, but that kind of just didn't catch on with as many folks. I hope they do more. But that being said, I mean, there's so much going right now that if the story's good, end it where you got to end it.
Yeah.
I think it's really the end of the day.
I mean, looking back at kind of the episodes, let me see if I can make this bigger for everybody to take a look at here.
Oh, look at you. Look at that. Beautiful.
I'm just going to run through the season 1 episode.
Yeah.
So Aftermath was the first season, then Cut and Run.
Food fight episode, I think, right?
Yeah, the food fight episode. Cut and Run was episode 2. And then we get The Replacements, which was the dark troopers, but they were I forgot what they were called.
It's like the start of that the start of the War Mantle people, or like the other, like the special clones that Crosshair eventually started becoming part of.
Right.
Yeah. That's when the split kind of happened really intensely.
So Cornered was episode 4. They make a pit stop for repairs and rations. I'm not sure that
Fennec Shan was in that episode.
Okay.
That was that one. Yep.
And so as I was scrolling through these, I was like, oh, I remember that. So we have the Baby Rancor episode.
That one was absurd.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That
was crazy.
Decommissioned was Sid hires the Bad Batch for another job. So that was kind of along the lines of another job. Here comes another job kind of thing.
Yep.
And then, not to name all these, but Battle Scars is the next reunion. Then we have
Battle Scars reunion real quick. This is the plot point I want to mind. That's when they got their chips out, because that's when they found Rex.
Yes.
So they were like, that was a huge thing where I think Wrecker almost went crazy. And we had that little bit of that. Yeah.
When he was
that's when we had that bit.
Headache.
So chips are out in season 2. I forgot about that. So I'm glad we're doing this.
And I remember Cad Bane shows up. We were like, oh, there he is. Because in the Clone Wars, he's never died, so he's always around. But
got the new Funko.
That's right. And I have the Black Series figure.
Yes. That's how you know.
Yeah, and then so he also appears in live action as well, which was fantastic to see, by the way.
That was so cool.
Just going, so Common Ground, The Devil's Deal with Harris and Dula.
Oh yeah, young Hera's in this show.
Yeah.
Man, see? I forget all these things.
Dude, I do not remember this show at all, apparently. I watched this. I'm gonna go listen to the old bounty hunts. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
that'd be a good way to get through there.
That'll probably take longer than rewatching the whole show.
And let's see, Infested. Oh, look at what is that guy's name?
Bugs.
Infested.
Visago?
Visago, yes. And that he was from Rebels, right?
Yeah.
War Mantle is next. Return to Camino. Was that a 2-part episode? No. So Return to Camino was the
first part of the part 2.
The first part of the part 2. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. So I mean, just quickly glancing through that, there's a lot to go through, and we've forgot about a lot of that just because it was a year ago. We've had so many shows pop up that we've been just getting down into details with, especially the live action. So this one kind of slipped my mind, I guess. So I'm glad this comes out on Wednesday because I don't have anything to do.
Yeah, and I know that one of the key things at the end of the season was that the War Mantle project was going to start replacing clones. So that's how we're going from clones to stormtroopers. Like we're seeing that kind of happen actively. And we had the kind of, enlisted folks being trained by Crosshair and led by them. And he got a little brutal. And they said they were going to try to save him, I think, in Camino, and then he said no, and then went away with the Empire again. So I'm interested in. So the first 2 episodes come out on Wednesday. They usually do that, right? The 2-part premiere, as we usually get. So if you're watching it before work, like me, on Wednesday, make sure it's 2 episodes. They're like half hour usually. So give yourself a full hour to watch the whole thing. But they're called Spoils of War and Ruins of War. And I'm interested in, again, dichotomy of the riches and the destruction. So I'm kind of wondering, are we going to jump right into the effects of losing Camino, of like how dark it is? Or based on the trailer, at least, are we going to go to that beach plan? Or is it going to be like some time has passed and they're now on another mission doing something, and then they'll kind of visit it in spurts? What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get a little bit of a time jump?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
I think generally speaking, once you make kind of the new updated molds or whatever you would call them, right? Like the templates for the animated characters, I think generally you're going to stick with them. So I don't even know that we'll see flashbacks per se, but I think we'll get a lot of discussion about what happened. But I don't think they're going to waste any time jumping into the new action for this season.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're like, so remember when Camino went down? Yeah, let's talk about it. They're like, no, come on, you saw it. Like,
look out, giant crab. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. So I mean, just going through the trailer here, I remember seeing this giant robot thing.
It's like a tall neck from Horizon. Hold on, actually, I literally have a tall neck Lego right next to me. Hold on.
How convenient.
Yeah, no kidding. The timing couldn't be any better.
It's like this. Don't it look like that? That's exactly
it
what that
does
looks
look like that.
Right? That's what that looks like. Oh my god.
I can't believe you had that right there. That's amazing.
The magic of Star Wars, baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly going to be a time jump just because we saw. It's been a year and I forgot her name already.
Omega.
Yes. Omega. And she is.
She has a hat. She's a Snoke's stupid hat.
She has a hat. There she is.
There it
right
is.
there. There's a little bit.
It is actually very reminiscent of Snoke's hat.
Okay, Charles, on the spot, who has a stupider hat, Snoke or Omega?
It's Snoke.
It's 100% Snoke.
Because that is still literally just a leaf. Lest we ever forget, Snoke has a leaf as a hat.
He would sunburn easily. I get it.
Yeah,
he's quite pale.
No, the trailer. You're right. I do think we're gonna jump right into the fray. You're right, and we've already had talks of like if Sid's in the trailer saying you do this one last job, then your debt is paid, whatever. Like I think it'll be very similar in that going. But I will say this. I want to, because I missed you guys. We haven't done a dumb little game in a while. Let's do what's one thing you think will happen, and what's one thing you want to happen. Because we again, Living Force 4.0, we're a little more speculative than we used to be. We're going to be a little more free-flowing with it. I will say, I think in Season 2, we'll have an arc where Crosshair is back with the Batch for a while. Like, he's injured and they pull him out or something, or he's a prisoner. Like, there'll be an arc where he's, like, with them and they try to talk sense into him. What I want to happen, this is more general, I want way more Echo in Season 2. I feel like we did not get enough of my guy. He's so fascinating with the amount of the PTSD stuff he's got going on, the fact that he was still kidnapped and it has the one limb. Like, I think there's so much story there. I just want more. I want more Echo. Error. Echo. I want more Echo. Or whatever she calls him.
Bless you.
I need more.
I want to see them eat one of the giant crab claws after that battle.
With a big cracker? I'm going to crack it!
Yes.
Yeah, bathtub of butter.
And I think we will see.
Me too.
I agree. I think we will see the return of Crosshair by the end of the season, one way or another. But I think the price to pay will be another member of the crew.
Ooh. That's fun. That's fun.
So,
dang.
Yeah, we haven't lost anybody yet. Man, that's getting pretty.
Yeah,
it's getting pretty serious in an animated series, right? But we've seen it before.
Which one of D. Bradley Baker's personas will he no longer voice?
Yeah, he takes a pay cut now because he can't get the voice all 4 guys.
You get paid by the character, D. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
You're only voicing 17 of them now, so
Yeah, come on. Oh my God, the credits for Bad Batch are always so funny to me. It's just like D. Bradley Baker, the Bad Batch.
That poor guy is like, no, not the Bad Batch. I got all 5, and I got another 1,000 troopers that I do.
My God. I will say, if any of y'all listening or watching haven't yet, check out on YouTube. D. Bradley Baker does interviews. I forget with whom, but he goes through each member of the Bad Batch without pause, and it's incredible to see with your eyes because his face literally changes into all of them as he does the voice. It's really something special.
Oh, that's cool. So I was going back through the trailer. What my prediction would be something. What is the deal with this Jedi? Or Jedi, maybe no. I mean, Gunji have Gunji has the lightsaber that he force pulled towards himself.
Yeah,
so,
Gunji.
there is something about Wookiee Jedi that is just so endearing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But Gunji, Buriaga in the High Republic, I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Because they shouldn't fit. We were told for so long that he's like, I can't do things, and I have the bowcaster kind of, and he has paws, and it's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
There's something amazing about it. And again, for those of you that may not have seen the Clone Wars and jump right into Bad Batch, that's fine. I'm sure there's plenty of you. Gunji was a character in the Clone Wars. Ahsoka taught him and a group of younglings. There were a few missions where he was on. We saw him craft his lightsaber with David Tennant, the droid, a.k.a. Hyung?
A.k.a. the Doctor, again, question mark?
Yeah, again, 2023. Very excited to see him. Also want to see if Omega can just, speak Shirawook. You know what I mean? I feel like that might be one of her things.
She's the one that only can talk back and forth with Gunji, and she's like, oh, well, he said this. Oh, well, he said this. Yeah. Oh, you seeing this?
How about this? Instead, Gunji, while hiding, has learned to speak basic, and he's like Paddington. He just talks in a light British accent.
or someone is just nice and gives him one of those vocoders that we know exist in universe.
That's true.
Great point.
Right?
They really need to give more Wookiees those. Come on.
But Wes, you stopped on another
important
character here.
You did. I want to see what happens with Commander Cody and where he ends up.
It's directly linked to Obi-Wan. I know.
I know. There you go. So, but he shows up as obviously part of the Empire, and he says, we are not the enemy. And then he's pointing his weapon at the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And then you see the transformation of the troopers, right? The clone troopers to the stormtroopers. Yeah. So we're going to see all that. But they specifically put in the trailer Commander Cody. So I was like, what's this all about, man? Yeah.
I will say, I've never had someone point a gun at me and say I'm not your enemy and believed them. I'm like, that is not something a friend would do.
Our friends, and we're going on a picnic, and we're going to watch a movie later. Get that gun out of my face.
Why are you being weird about my gun in your face? I'm not your enemy. Yeah, Cody is, I'll say this. This is my confession. Cody has never been a character that is super connected with me. And I think that makes me rarer in Star Wars land. I know a lot of people love Cody and him and Obi-Wan. And for some reason, Rex has always been just so high and above for me. Mm-hmm. And maybe we've gotten way more of him, obviously, in Clone Wars. But I'm excited to see Cody maybe get on the train, to see what he's doing. And Dale in the chat makes a great question. Ask if that was a Pike in the trailer. I don't believe so. But that being said, the thing about the Pikes, they've never been animated the same way twice. So I don't know. Right? They're always so vastly different in each show. Their little masks and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but the way that their masks are made to conceal their face, it has to be a specific type of mask. And I don't know. I don't know that this is a Pike in this picture right here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
In animated land, they tend to have the bigger heads, which they just couldn't do in Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only shortcoming of that show.
What's this person on? Oh God, don't even say.
I'm sorry.
What is this dude on the right? He almost looks Tusken.
Is that Star-Lord?
He does kind of look Tusken,
That's
right?
Star-Lord,
it does
I think.
Look like
Star-Lord.
Guys, Chris Pratt is in Star Wars now. It's official. He made it in. That's just Star-Lord. Straight up.
I hope his name rhymes with Star-Lord. It's just like,
Oh, this is Barcord.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Peter Nil. Come on.
Oh man. Okay.
He's a Smartian of the galaxy. All right. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm excited to see what these people are. Again, the animation of Bad Batch, above all, I think is just insane. Clone Wars Season 7, I think, is, for me at least, the only thing that comes close. But some of the Bad Batch stuff in Season 1, I remember we took so many parts of those earlier episodes and just were like, this looks amazing, right? Like, it just looks so good.
Yeah.
And now they've had another year and a half to make it look better. I'm very excited.
I remember specifically from Season 1, it looked like they had a camera crew on scene, and they were running backwards with them and holding the camera so they could see them running forward at you. Like that whole animated scene, that whole production they put in there made it look so much more realistic than what we've seen before. Because we saw that same camera view in The Rise of Skywalker when we had Poe Dameron and I think Chewbacca and BB-8 were running down the hallway. With Finn, with Finn, BB-8, and they were doing the same camera view where they're rolling back and you could see them running towards the camera. It was, I don't know if it was the same type of production, but it reminded me of that. And so reminding me of things.
Cinematic, yeah. Bad Batch has always been very cinematic in its filming. I think that's a great point.
Have we seen your Lord and Savior Bail Organa in this in Season 1? Or
I don't think we did, but he's in the trailer for Season 2, right?
He's in the trailer for Season 2.
We did it. We did it, everyone. We did it.
He's in every single Star Wars.
Get him into every Star Wars project ever.
All of you listen, this is episode 195. Since the beginning, I have loved Bail Organa. Back when we had a Legends novel and the prequels. We all remember. We were barely getting Bail. And now, literally, this past year, Tales of the Jedi, Bail Organa shows up. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Bail Organa shows up. Bad Batch Season 2, Bail Organa shows up. Andor Season 2, come on. We know what's happening. It is Bail season. It's also been Yaddle season. Like, I have been winning all over. And I think that's the energy I want in 2023.
And they only allow for him to be on screen for a minute or two, just to make you want him more. And they take him off.
Too expensive too.
Yes, they take him away. And they don't give you anything else after that. They skip a show or two or whatever. You're like, oh, we forgot about Bail, and they bring him back. And he's just like, they do that with. Here we go. They do that in professional wrestling all the time. Make you want to.
Yes. Yes, Wes.
They make you miss the character. He was out injured. Oh, so and so broke their leg. They'll be gone for a year, and they come back in 9 months. You're like, I thought I was going to be gone a year. Oh my God, he came back 9 months later. This is what they do with Bail Organa.
The amount of TikToks that I have seen without context of WWE wrestlers coming back, that energy, it finds me because I love that. I love that. It feels so good. But yeah, I think that's what Bail is doing. And also, come on, here's my big prediction of the year of 2023. We're getting Jedi Battle Scars, that Cal Kestis book. Sam Maggs, the author, has said it's a steamy book. There's a lot of like spiciness into it. Clearly got to have Bail in it. How else are you going to get the spice? Right?
I mean, they could easily write him into that book.
Easily.
They could easily animate him into the video game.
Endless possibilities. Endless possibilities. Possibilities.
Oh,
endless possibilities, everybody.
Right. That's it, everybody.
God.
See you later.
Corey can't stop us today. Yeah, there's so much that might be awesome about that show. And I think it's going to be really fun because it's just a great time. One, when there's a Star Wars show on. I think we've gotten so spoiled, but I'm also now so used to like every Wednesday. I just love having a show. I love having a channel that we can go talk to about it. I love the little Twitter feeds, and I just love looking forward to it. But also, when there's a Star Wars animation show, there is something just so special about it because it's been on since we were like kids. Like the Clone Wars and everything on, like there's just something so comforting about it. And I'm very excited to see Bad Batch come back. Again, a show that I think, like Andor, when it was announced, we were like, okay, yeah, okay, that arc, oh, okay, cool, sure, and had a great time with. So
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm very excited.
Like you pointed out, it's a nostalgic piece for us that have watched the Clone Wars, the Gendy Tartakovsky beginning of the Clone Wars to the new Clone Wars to going past Rebels and then back to Bad Batch. I mean, it's nostalgic. So it's fun. It's fun that they're making new content for something that we've seen for decades, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be so good. So make sure everyone get up Wednesday morning, mute all your socials you have to, because, again, I love y'all Star Wars fans, but unhinged. Spoilers. Absolutely unhinged. Calm yourselves. We do, I believe, have a Bad Batch channel in our Discord. So go there, everyone in the Youtini community. I love you so much because everyone is great about spoiler tags. When the shows come out, everyone uses spoiler tags appropriately in Discord. If you don't know how to use them, you just put like the 2 little vertical bars and you write your thing and use 2 other vertical bars. And then people can click on it if they want to be spoiled. And it's always a great conversation to have with the whole community. So very excited. 2 episodes of Bad Batch on Wednesday and then 1 every Wednesday thereafter. Because of scheduling and everything in 2023, we will not be having a separate bounty hunt show for Bad Batch, but we will be talking about it every single week on the Living Force, kind of briefly recapping our thoughts about it. Honestly, except maybe the first week, because, guys, what's next Monday? What's happening next Monday?
The awards ceremony of the year, according to the most recent news that I've watched, right?
People.
AP poll.
The Associated Press has picked up our award show for
answer this. What pales in comparison to the Oscars?
Nothing. But the Youtinees, everyone, it's the 2022 Youtini Awards. The 3rd annual Youtinees. Annual.
That's cool.
It is cool.
That's kind of wild. Wes has lovingly linked the past 2 years of Youtini Awards in the description. So if you're interested in seeing how we've done...
Sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to put that clip of your face there.
Man, look at that. So this is a little preview of what you're looking at.
Hair.
The hair. It's when I dyed my hair blue at the beginning of the pandemic. I had more money, just straight up. I had more money than I do now. But if you haven't heard about them for whatever reason, the Youtinees are our yearly award show. We're going to be giving out the awards throughout the month of December. Our community was voting, and as I said, guys, we had over 600 votes this year. So thank you to everyone that voted. Guys, did you vote? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Did you vote?
Of course, yes. I did.
Okay, great.
I think I held off. I held off on the quote of the year because I couldn't pick one.
That's
so
fair.
I was just like, can I pick more than one? But that's not fair. What if something is a tie and I pick 2? So I didn't pick quote of the year because I couldn't figure which one I wanted the most. But one thing,
we did add that option this year. You could opt out of categories. That was new, and I hope that people enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I think that
was important.
One thing that's great about just going back through these award shows of celebrating the authors that had won, passed, and some of the nominees as well, is looking at our old setups from when we go through there. So this is Youtinees 2020.
Hold on.
I remember where you were, Charles.
We used to do this, just for clarification, on like the week of Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm sitting in my childhood bedroom in this picture with like a laptop balanced on probably 17 hardbacks stacked on top of each other. I just want to make that clear.
Sweating our asses off because all of us are dressed to the nines, as we will this year, of course. We'll keep with tradition. But yeah, it's a great time. If you're wondering, kind of what the format is, we get all new overlays. Our buddy Matt does some intros for us, and it's always just such a great time. I do want to say, as I was going through the categories, I have a little bit of fun facts for you guys, which I'll of course repeat next week as well. Over 600 votes, multiple categories, decided by less than 5 votes, including one category that was won by a single vote.
Oh, we're gonna piss all kinds of people off on that show.
A single vote. That again, people say, does my vote matter? Yes, because there is a winner, and I'll say it when we get there. That was won by 1 vote. So if you voted for a specific Youtini award winner, you made a difference because you
Yeah,
voted. And if you were like,
yeah.
I'll do it tomorrow, and oh no, it's January now, you're the reason they lost. I
Yeah,
guess.
and you're not allowed to be mad at something that won if you didn't vote. Also,
That's true.
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
that's a
Exactly.
rule.
No criticism.
I will also say every single nominee on the ballot got a handful of votes. So there was nothing that got shut out. Most things got at least 15, 20 votes apiece minimum. Some categories were closer than others. It was very interesting to kind of see the data as it came in. Had some juggernauts. Last year, I believe every single award was High Republic related. A lot of High Republic love this year as well. But of course, I think we have a couple more comics awards this year. So that'll be fun to see. And I'm very excited. It's one of my favorite times of the year. And I want to ask you guys, because we did delay it a little bit this year to go all the way through December, a little bit, later in January because of Corey's job thing that was happening this week and my move and things like that. What do you guys think about having a 2022 Youtinees starting 2023? Does that throw you off, or you think it's going to be good for us?
No,
No,
I want to do it this way moving forward.
Yeah.
I do for a couple of different reasons. One, we've talked about how scheduling and stuff is tough. Doing it during like the week of Christmas was tough. I think it
That was
might
tough.
have kept people from participating too, because
Sure.
everyone's busy that time of year. And I feel like it's a fun way to reflect on like the full year by making it one of our
Yeah.
first shows of 2023. So I really like the idea, and I hope that this works out really well. I hope it's the best one yet. I think it will be.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I think it'll help us do this moving forward.
Yeah, and it gives more
Love
people
that.
more time to reflect and remember about what they read and what they listened to, what they watched, even review like
Yeah.
some of the cover art and some of the
Yeah.
illustrations from the comics. So
covers winning.
we try to do a good job of letting everybody know about that way ahead of time so they have time to be able to do all that. But also, like Charles said, I mean, everybody's busy during the holiday season, so this gives
Yeah.
everybody just a little bit more time to help, review all that stuff that had come out. And it's been the High Republic heavy, I guess you could say, last year.
Yep.
But, which is totally fine. And
Great stuff.
I feel that the Fallen Star might bring home some awards. Maybe. Who knows?
Hey, exactly what I was going to ask y'all, man. Like I gotta say, because I haven't shared any of the results. I mean, I have a lot of integrity. I've shared them with our graphics folks. They got to make the graphics. But to you two knuckleheads don't know anything. I haven't told you a single thing. Any grand predictions? So Wes, you're thinking Fallen Star heavy because that was an early release. That was like way early in the year.
Yeah.
Which, again, an Oscar voting that usually hurts it. But you think that's gonna hit pretty hard because of its whole,
Not at all.
giant
Not
impact?
at all. Not at
Not
all.
only on us, but on the surface of the planet.
Yes, I think that book was a slam dunk, just based on the ending. I mean, just the whole, like all of the different storylines within that novel. There were multiple, and they were all great. That was a fantastic book. I actually would like to listen to that one again when we have a lull in the next month or so after
Yeah.
I finish the Battle of Jeddah. So,
great
yeah,
idea.
I think the Fallen Star is going to do some sweeps, whether it be the cover art, whether it be Book of the Year, whether it be Author of the Year. I mean, I think it has a good shot of taking home 3 Youtinees.
Very solid.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. At the end of the day, I think that was the best book of the year. But there are some really, 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 really solid books that are like standalone books.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think it's
yeah.
important to keep that in mind. I think I made this point on the Youtinees preview. The Fallen Star does have the advantage of being the third book or
Yeah,
the third adult novel, right, in a series. Whereas like Shadow of the Sith, phenomenal book, basically standalone, right? So
Right.
I mean, not basically, it was standalone. So, I think there is some advantage there. But the High Republic is just so overwhelming. I mean, it's so fun and new and fresh. It's hard not to vote for those things.
Right.
So my wild prediction, my grand prediction is
Do it.
that the High Republic gets less than 80% of the awards this year.
Oh, sure. It gets a little shaken. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. And I will say, so while the Youtini staff was very crucial in compiling the nominations, once the nominations were out, every staff member, every host on this show, every viewer, every listener got the same vote. 1 vote per person. So purely democratic voting. I'm excited to kind of see how everyone feels about the results. I will say, looking back at years past, because again, as we link to the past award seasons, I was thinking about previous winners and things like that. Our first ever Youtinees. You guys remember what book of the year was?
Thrawn
It was
book.
the second Thrawn Ascendancy book, Chaos Rising, wasn't it? Or was that the next year?
Yeah, that was the first one. So yes, you're correct though. It was Chaos Rising. That just was the first
Chaos
one.
Rising.
Yep. And then last year, do you remember what the book of the year was?
I would need a multiple choice.
Light of the Jedi.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Jedi.
yeah. Okay.
So, which is interesting because I love how you said, Fallen Star this year might have some power behind it as being the last of a trilogy. The last 2 books of the year were the first books in trilogies. So it could go either way. We've added some more categories, of course, this year. Character of the year is always a big one. Social Butterfly is back. Quote of the year, though, it's funny you say that, Wes. I almost opted out as well because I love so many of those quotes. It might be my favorite one of the year because I think that is almost one of the categories that is like the most evocative of the writing skill of the year. Like, what is the couple sentences that you read and you're just like, oh God, right? That one made me just kind of sit back.
I will never forget. Was it 2021? It had to be 2021. Archeon Rowe. Gossip, you forgot your hand.
Okay.
I'll never forget that. That's
one
a fantastic
of my favorites ever. Yeah, it's just gonna be a blast, and I'm really excited that we do it every year. And then of course, we're gonna after that go into a brand new year. There's a lot of Star Wars coming. There's a lot of stuff that we'll do. I will say to everyone that did tune in last year for Dead or Nah, I love that episode, and I think we're gonna bring back a lot of those kinds of episodes this year of fun episodes. We're gonna talk about a lot of projects outside. We're gonna talk about some of our favorite characters, play some games, and just have a really fun 2023. And I would encourage everyone as we go look ahead in the year. First of all, I hope everyone's good. Hope you all had a great new year. Hope you're all safe. Hope you're having a good time. Head over to the Discord channel on Living Force and let us know, what do you want to see from us this year? Do you want us talking more about book stuff? Do you like Matt? What's up, man? In the chat, that's my buddy Matt. If you just finished playing Fallen Order and you're excited for Survivor, do you want more video game talk? Do you want us to chat about that kind of thing in March? Do you want to hear where we are in our progress? Like, this is gonna be a whole year of doing all kinds of new fun stuff, and I couldn't be more excited for it. Not only because I now have less boxes around me than I did previously, although God, that helps. Moving sucks, guys.
Yes, it does.
Moving is terrible. If I bought a house and Charlie's like, well, we'll be here like 5 years. I'm like, nah.
I'm
Long
dying
time.
in this house.
I'm gonna die in this house. Unlike the previous owner, who I did ask.
Still
you gotta know
convinced
there's
there's a
ghosts in
ghost
your
in your
house.
attic.
Yeah.
You gotta know. All right, before we get on out of here, guys, any final thoughts about the year we have coming up in Star Wars? I guess just in general, we have so many projects. Ahsoka's coming out this year.
Right.
High Republic Phase 3 is coming in the fall. Like, what are we looking at for 2023?
I am interested in how Jon Favreau is going to boost The Mandalorian. That's coming out at the end of the year?
No, it's coming out in February, my guy.
February.
Yeah,
see,
so.
like,
yeah, Bad Batch and Mandalorian are gonna be happening simultaneously. I'm pretty sure
because they've had time, obviously, with the time of season 2 of The Mandalorian. And now we come back here. We get to see. Hopefully, we'll get the Mandalorian Wars, but maybe not. But I mean, like, they have so much that they can build off of. They brought in freaking Luke Skywalker in the last episode of the season.
What a
so
moment.
like they have so much they can build on. There's so much content that they can add to it, and then they could practice with the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
and then
we're talking about practice.
We're
not talking about a game.
Yeah,
we're talking about a game.
And then also with Andor, they saw how insanely good Andor was, and how everybody didn't really have great expectations for it. I don't know that in the beginning. I mean, I thought it was like, oh, it's Andor, whatever. And then we saw Andor. We were like, holy shit, this is one of the best I've ever seen in my life. So they have good content to build off of, and they also have every day is a new wave of technology that can help boost the production. So I mean, they've had some time for new technology to come out to help with scenes and movie quality experiences like all over Star Wars. So I can't wait to see what happens with The Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah. I am ashamed at how often I forget that that's coming, because it's like, the biggest show on Disney Plus, and I'm like, all right, but Andor though.
Yeah.
God, that's gonna be incredible. Great point.
That's
also, Matt is requesting Wes's wrestling review to be a part of it. So
that's the thing.
You got to keep us posted on like Summer SmackDown? Is that it?
Corey, are you watching? Can I have a wrestling show to add to the Youtini? I will do it every Friday, whatever. That's fine.
Wes, you're confused. This is my show. Do it. All right, Charles.
I love the fact that Wes held the mic like he was actually in the wrestling ring addressing the crowd.
Wes, if you can hook up your mic so that it comes down from the ceiling.
I've thought about that 100 times, Eric.
Incredible. I agree with Wes on The Mandalorian. I mean, that's big on my radar, but those of you who know me well know that I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Oh, God.
And I cannot think about beyond next week. Okay, I really can't. I just want to get
through. You're excited for Fast 10? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I am. I am excited for that. But no, I mean, I am excited for the Youtinees. I can't think past that right now. I can't think past looking forward to seeing what you guys are wearing. I mean, I second what Eric said earlier about if you're going to watch one show of the year, you should watch this show. If you've listened to 195 episodes of the show, please tune in. Please tune in for the Youtinees and watch it live. It's worth it. All the awesome overlays, all the awesome graphics. A ton of people put a ton of work into it. And you know what? We dress up. We dress up, and we don't do it so that you can hear about how good we look. Dang it.
We look good.
We do. Tune in next week. Tune in next week. That's all I have to say.
That's it. It's gonna be a great time. Yeah, I'm so excited for the Youtinees. I'm excited. I'm excited for Star Wars on a personal note to be like this stabilizing force in my life, because as someone who just moved across the entire country and life is a little chaotic at the moment, having weekly Star Wars is just the best. So very excited about it. And you know what? Even though life has gotten wild, Matt's saying, love to watch us all react to the episode of the new series. Keep your eyes on Patreon. Maybe now and then we'll try to throw something up there. I don't know. I think this is going to be a year for new experiences and some fun new things to try out. So
is this a good time to recognize the fact that we did not do anything over Christmas?
It absolutely is. And
I
will say here, I am so thankful for our Patreon community for so many reasons. Number one, because you're the reason we get to do anything. Number two, I will put this on the line. We have the most patient, understanding Patreon community in the entire world. Because there are so many things we want to do, and life gets in the way sometimes for various reasons. And we're not exactly always open about some private life stuff as things go on. But we have never, ever had anything but a loving word from all y'all in our Patreon community. And it does mean the world. And we want to make such great stuff for you. But we appreciate the fact that that sometimes things happen. And we're doing our best. We love doing this show. We love making stuff for you. And we're going to bring that energy into 2023. So.
And Eric has now learned that he should never leave Wes and I alone so that we can write checks that we cannot cash.
Hey, man, my office is set up now. You're stuck with me again. Unless there's like a Monday night play out. No, it doesn't happen. You're good with me. It's stuck with me forever. I love you guys. I cannot wait. Again, we're going to plug it one final time. Next Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Youtini YouTube channel. The 2022 Youtini Awards. See who won, see who came close, but most importantly, see us dressed to the nines and just talk about how much we loved this past year in Star Wars. We will see you there. And now, my friends, that will do it for this week's episode of The Living Force. If you are to support us on Patreon, thank you so much. You are the reason we're able to do literally anything in the world. Thank you to Brian Dooley, Earl Q, and Carl Sander on our Jedi High Council, and Elida Cloutier, Sally Chris Eilerson, and Chris Caruso on our Alliance High Command. Thank you for Wes for centering me live on the show. They didn't do it beforehand. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Eric Eilerson, Charles Zetzi Hankel, Wes is at Boss West. The show is at Living Force Pod, and the main account is at Youtini_US. A special thank you to Matt Davenport, our amazing editor, and Ryan, our graphic designer extraordinaire. Wes, our producer, community manager, and active framer. Thank you to Charles and Wes for potting with me tonight. Thanks to all of you for hanging out. We will see you next week for the Youtinees. And as always, may the force be with you.